This is Fedition. This is Black. And this is Swerve, my boy Marv, my boy AO Anthony Oliver. He's going to join us shortly. But we have a packed show. We're going to try to get it in within 45 minutes, but we're going to make it happen. And tell everybody what's going on, man.
What's happening? Good evening. Good evening. We are here on this beautiful Thursday. Thank y'all for tuning in. We get ready to talk Titans with AO. We got a lot of things happening. Kyler Murray signed a big deal. Uh, NBA, Utah asking for seven first round picks for Donovan Mitchell. Kirby Smart just signed yeah, yeah, seven first round picks. Kirby Smart just signed a $112 million deal to remain the coach of the Georgia Bulldogs for a 10-year extension that runs through, I think, 2031, 2032. That's $12 million a year. I mean, yeah, 12.5. That's like 12.5 million a year. So it's a lot going on in the little off season. A lot going on. The Sixers proposing a new stadium smack dab in the middle of the city, which makes no sense to me at all. Um, there's a lot we're gonna try to touch on today in this 45 minutes, so an hour show that we having right now. But yeah, where you want to start? Right, I got my laptop up.
We can continue, man. Just talking about the Eagles for now, man, because it's going to be more of a football centric show for this evening.
Okay. Browns just signed Rosen. Browns just signed Rosen to a 1 year deal, like literally a few minutes ago. So Drew Rosen is that's his name, right? He was Josh Rosen. I'm sorry,
Josh Rosen,
Josh
yeah,
Josh Rosen. Was the what? He was the number 10 pick. He was the number 10
right,
pick in 2018.
right, yeah.
He's bounced around. He just signed a 1 year deal with the Browns. So I mean, I'm pretty sure that's telling us that Deshaun's at least suspended for 6 games. So
Go ahead.
you have Deshaun. I don't think he's going to get a whole year. They already made him sit a year, right? He didn't play last year, so realistically, that was a suspension. They have Jacoby Brissett there, and they just signed Josh Rosen to a 1 year deal about an hour ago.
Right. But
Um,
truth be told, I think Josh Rosen has gotten a horrible set of circumstances. I don't care. I mean, we don't know what's all went on behind the scenes, but as far as Rosen goes himself, man, I just think that got the worst hand of cards ever dealt to him. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because he was supposed to be the man in Arizona, right? They didn't even give him 8 games, and they went and brought in a brand new. They had just drafted him number one, right?
yeah. They
Then they
drafted
took
him. He
him
was.
the very next year. Not
They
only do
bought him
they
Murray.
and they signed, they got Cliff Kingsbury, and then they draft Kyler. So and then he gets pushed to Miami. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, out of all the circumstances to take place, that had to be the worst thing that happened. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he definitely hasn't gotten a fair shot in the league. Um, but at the same time, we like you said, we don't know the whole backstory. And I hope one day he gets a chance to shine and he actually does. But it's like
Listen,
it's like you have Drew, you have they get rid of they draft him to come in and be the guy for the franchise, and then 15 20 15 minutes later they drafted Kyler. But that was a Kingsbury pick, and it sucks that when you change coaches, he got victimized by a coaching change,
right.
and the new regime had already had their guy. You know how it goes when a new coach comes in, he wants his guy. Like most times when the coach takes over, he wants their guy, and they get rid of. the guy that's there now. But what happens is we usually don't see it with quarterbacks that are that young. Like,
Right,
but it's not different. It's not any different. Like Matty Rule took over Carolina, got rid of Cam. You know, it happens. But Rosen has been built a raw deal. I will give him that. Rosen's been
right. And
built
then
a raw deal.
Michael asked, "Is Collar worth the money?" I think this is what I think about. I'm always going to be on the side of the athlete when it comes to getting what they ask for. Um, I think in any athlete's case, they are worth what they signed for. If he signs for $46 million a year, that's what he's worth. You know what I'm saying? And
Oh,
you can't say, well, did he earn it? To me, it's not really even about earned. It's about what they provided him, right? They gave him the contract. He signed it. Now he's making
yeah.
$46 million a year. It's up to him whether he plays up to the standards that come with that. But again, he didn't sign himself to that contract. The team did,
I look at it like, what's the market? What
right?
is the market? Like you can have a 2005 Honda Accord. Like if you drive a 2010 Honda Accord, you probably before COVID, you probably wasn't gonna get a lot of money for it, right?
Right,
But now that there's a car shortage, like now there's a car shortage. Ooh, that Honda Accord that was just worth $3,500 is now doubled in value and it's now worth 7,000. Look
right,
at the housing market. The housing market it hit a point where a house if you bought a house 10 years ago, that house is probably worth 150,000, 200,000 more than what you paid for it right now because of the market. The market dictates the price. So when
right.
you look at a Kyler Murray signing for 46, that's coming off the heels of Pat Mahomes' deal, right? Pat Mahomes got a crazy deal. Um, and
Watson
Aaron,
is fully
I was
fully
about to say,
guaranteed.
Pat Mahomes got a crazy deal. Then you watch Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson get these deals, right? So if you're Arizona and you're invested in this kid, you have to spend that money. You have to spend that money. Y'all might not feel like he's worth 46 million, but he's definitely the market says he's worth 46 million. And I was just laughing because we had a conversation. Joe posted it a few days ago. I said if I'm the Eagles, I'm offering Jalen Hurts a 3 year, 90 million, 85, $90 million deal before he plays the snap this year. Reason being is if he goes out there and balls out this year,
That 40 million is a reality.
you're gonna end up hitting like Dak makes $40 million. Like Dak
Right.
Prescott makes $40 million. Yeah. So
You gotta look
yeah,
at it, man. It's
that's the
tough.
market.
Yeah, the market is tough,
That's,
man. The market is tough. You know what I'm
that's the
saying?
market.
Like you gotta look at it. Like you said, if Hertz comes out and has a 4,000 yard and 25 touchdown, touchdowns passing season, what are what can you do? You
You
gonna
can't
risk him
do.
having another season where he meets that mark? You gotta
Yeah,
pay him.
you have to pay. It's no like that, and that's what people don't realize. It's a business, and it's a business. It's risking all business. Now, I get exactly what Arizona did, and you're banking on this kid being good. And if you
Right,
feel like you don't lock Kyler Murray in the next 5 years, what is it? Well, you don't lock Kyler Murray in the next 5 years at 46 million. 3 years from now, we're gonna be talking about how 46 million is a steal. You understand the way the market and the way the cap works? 46 million 3 years from now is going to be a steal if Kyler Murray goes out there and continues to perform and produce the way the Cardinals believe he's capable of.
right. And the
You
money.
got to look at
And go ahead, go ahead.
You got to look at the basketball cap. 5 years ago, Mike Conley signed the biggest basketball contract ever, and people were like, Mike Conley isn't worth 22 or 20 however $1 million a year. 5 years later, Mike Conley is what, the third highest paid player on his team, third or fourth highest paid player on his team.
Yeah, you just look
Because
at Dak's contract, man.
yeah,
Dak fought for that contract. He held out, did whatever he needed to do, and now that's an average contract. You know what I'm saying? So and that's an average contract with minimum uh playoff success, right? So then you have Kyler coming in getting 10 more million than he is per year with minimum playoff success. So when Hertz is up, you know, what's his name? Lamar is up now. What do you and that's the worst thing that could that's another thing. That was the worst thing that could have happened
I
to
was just
Baltimore.
I was just going to address that.
Worst
Baltimore
thing.
has to be kicking themselves right now
Yeah. Yeah,
because
man.
it's no way Lamar's taking less than Tyler Murray.
It's not now. It's
There's,
too late.
there's no way Lamar Jackson is taking less than Tyler Murray. If I'm Lamar Jackson's agent, I'm going to call Tyler Murray and his camp and say,
Thank you.
"Thank you very much. Thank you.
Because
Thank
now
you."
his floor his
His
floor is
floor
now 50 million.
45 million.
Is I think his floor now because that's only it's 46.9, right? I think per year. So you look at that, right? The guy, regardless of what he did in the playoffs, the guy's an MVP. He was the MVP of these
He's
MVP.
an MVP.
Right.
He's an
So now
MVP.
that floor is 50 million
Yeah.
easily. Now do you now I think it's more of the
Can they hear me now?
yeah, we can hear you,
Yes, they
man.
can
Your
now.
mic is out.
I hate doing it through the phone. I do it through the damn computer. All right. Hold on. Let me set up this phone the way y'all can see me better. Go ahead. I hear y'all talk.
Yeah, but the thing is, man, like you understand, like Lamar is an MVP now. You know what I mean? So if Kyler's getting 46.9 and you got the MVP ain't signed yet, his basement is 50 million. What do you do? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Hey, while y'all doing that, I'm redoing my Bluetooth. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so um yeah, so Lamar Jackson benefits the most from the Kyler Murray side for sure. Um and like I said, the market dictates the price. So you can't say what a player is. Us as fans can't say, oh, this player ain't worth this or this player ain't worth that, whatever, whatever, whatever. When the market dictates, and that's just like anything else in this world and in this country, the market dictates the price. Why
Right.
do you think people getting rich off reselling sneakers? If there's a limited release of whatever shoe and I'm able to grab them, I can charge you whatever I want to say. If there's a limited, like there's only 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL, right?
Right.
So if you're one of 32, you dictate the market is dictated upon the need. We've already established that quarterback is the most important position on the football field.
Right.
So if you're paying the best quarterbacks in the league $40 million, $40+ million, you're going to have to. That's what the going rate is, and then everybody else in the cap. It's a trickle down. If you got to pay the quarterback $40 million, then it works its way down. Like I forgot, I was watching something. I was looking at something online, and it listed like the most important positions on the football team, and everyone agrees that the quarterback is the most important position on a football team. So if the going rate for a mid level, if the going rate for a mid level quarterback, like you said, Dak Prescott, who was listed as the 10th best quarterback, is making $40 million. So if you have a quarterback and it rated higher than Dak, be prepared to open a checkbook and pay them more than $40 million.
Yep.
And Lamar is definitely better than Dak in my eyes. There's a lot of people who hate on Lamar. I don't understand the hate because they love other quarterbacks. They love other quarterbacks, but anytime Lamar does something, it's an issue. But Lamar Jackson is the MVP. He throws for 4,000 yards.
Yeah.
Get that man his money. Pay that man.
Yeah. Ayo,
Pay
you
that
good,
man.
man?
Yeah, I'm here. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I want to introduce my guy, man, Anthony Oliver, man, a good brother of mine, man. Uh, a strong Titans fan. You know, he's very opinionated, but he's going. I know he's going to bring some. I know he's going to bring a lot of info, man. So, introduce yourself to the people, bro.
Man, what's going on, man? My name, you know what I'm saying, AO, you know what I'm saying, Anthony Oliver, you know what I'm saying, big time football fan, big time sports fan. Uh, Man, at track and field, like I said, we'll talk on that later as we got the world championships going on now. But like I said, man, when it comes to sports, like when it comes to me, you know what I'm saying, I always like to speak on what I see as a fact. What I see as a fact and what's actually going on about it. And what y'all just said about Lamar Jackson was actually pretty funny because, yeah, I mean, I guess people just gonna have their own feelings about him. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting some knowledge now more on this football thing because I've been kind of out of the loop just a little bit because, like I said, I guess since the summertime, since I've been kind of more focused on track and not really paying full attention what's going on besides like the Deshaun Watson situation and what else has been going on? Because you know the AJ Brown thing getting traded to
Right.
y'all, going up there. That happened during the draft, which you know I will. That's one thing I will. I would like to speak on that. You know what I'm saying? Um, but other than that, you know, I just don't. When it comes to the football thing, I'm not gonna really just start going back and picking up on it probably for about another 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay. Okay. So, how do you feel about as far as AJ getting traded? What do you feel about that?
All right, so I'm gonna just put it like this. I understand what AJ wanted, right? And I'm happy for him. You know what I'm saying? And the whole deal with me is I'm not a fan of AJ because he played for the Titans. I'm a fan of AJ because he's a Mississippi kid. He went to University of Mississippi. So y'all already know I ain't gotta say things, but I've always been a fan of him, right?
Right. Right.
It added more. No matter where he went in the NFL, I would have been a fan of him. It just helps that he also went to the Titans, right?
Right.
So that even made it even escalated more situations. But my whole deal is not about AJ Brown, but the Titans operation, the Titans organization.
Right.
As soon as they get them a quality wide receiver, they don't want to pay him. So I hope Burks see this because Burks, 3 or 4 years, you're gonna be good, and they might do you the same way they did AJ. I hope he pays attention to that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because I had a couple of partners of mine. I mean, I'm glad AJ got his money, man. Listen, trust me, in the NFL, you're number one hit away from being done. So if you want
Bingo.
some money and you get your money, hey, who am I to say what you worth? You know what I'm saying? I'm glad he got it. Am I mad? I'm mad that he's not with Tennessee no more. But I'm happy for him, and I'm not upset with the Eagles because hey, you know what I'm saying? They did what they had to do. Now with this burst thing, um, be honest with you, I seen him play at Arkansas and I seen AJ play, and I don't think Burks is better. A lot of people are trying to persuade me he's better. I don't see it. I know some people that are some real deal college football heads that don't see it. I got a couple of people that's trying to sell me on it. I'm like, yo, I don't see it. Like, yo, can you please sell me on it? And they can't. So
Mhm.
I want him to do well because he came to the Titans. So I'm not gonna doubt him, but my whole deal is I will say this. As a Tennessee fan, Tennessee has not done any good with any wide receiver they drafted in the first round ever. I think because I forgot where Derek Mason. If Derek Mason was
Derek,
drafted in the first round, put it in
yes,
the
Derek
comments. I
Mason
forgot where
was
he was drafted.
Derek Mason from Utah, right? He
Yeah,
was a first round pick. He
okay.
was definitely
Besides
a first
Derek
round
Mason,
pick.
they had some major flops, and the most recent flop y'all already know. People tell me I hate that guy. Like man, I don't hate that guy. My whole deal was that whole situation was when you go back to that they didn't need to pick him when they picked him at that spot and they
No, he
flopped
was a
hard.
fourth round. I'm sorry, he's a fourth round guy.
Oh, fourth round where I stand conclude. I mean, unless you want to say Dyson, but then they picked Dyson
I
before
was thinking,
Randy Moss. So
I was thinking Kevin Dyson. That's just who I was thinking. But Derek
yeah,
Mason is a fourth round guy.
Kevin Dyson was, and I leave that alone because they drafted him before Randy Moss. I understand why Randy Moss got overlooked so much. They was kind of looking into like the character issue. So okay, cool.
Right.
But I remember Tyrone Calico. He was 6'7". They're like, oh, he might do something. He didn't do nothing. All
Mm.
this, all
Yeah,
this. The last one was I don't even gonna say his name, but y'all already know. Swerve no,
The
the
Corey,
Flack
the
no.
Corey, the Corey
I ain't
Davis.
even gotta say his name. I never liked that.
Corey Davis.
I never liked that pick from when they picked him. I stand by my word. I never liked that
You,
pick from when they picked him. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how much you study, how much you
you,
study. That's anybody. I'm a firm believer. And I did that. He ain't the only person. It's been other people. I
yeah,
don't care how much you study somebody. At the end of the day, film is one thing. What you do on Sundays or what you do on that hardwood, it's another thing. And like I said,
yeah.
man, I was done with him. I mean, he goes to the Jets and still don't do nothing. Well, he had a good game against Tennessee. I will give him that. But he still don't do nothing. And I'm like, it is what it is. Man, hey, you want to know why I knew he wasn't going to do nothing? I'm going to tell you something real funny. And for those who see this in the chat, y'all can laugh at me. I don't care. I remember his sister had said she can't wait till he get drafted. That white girl. Know what I'm saying? So she can get some of his money and get a BBW. I said, oh, you know what? I ain't gonna like this guy already, just off of that. And
Yeah.
like I said, as a fan of the team, I want to see him do well. But
Right.
when you ain't performing, it gets to a point like, and my whole deal is this: if he was drafted in the second round, third, fourth round, I'd be like, oh, whatever, cool, cool, cool. But
Right.
where he was drafted at, my whole thing is this. I feel like in the NFL draft, top picks are reserved for quarterbacks that you want to be the future of right now,
Right.
or offensive linemen. And because if you pick somebody on defense, he better be that guy, which I understand. But if you pick a wide receiver, he better be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? And then what got lost in all that, you know what I'm saying? Trying to compare. You could take guys like I hate when people kept using that Mariota was his problem. Like, man, stop using Mariota because if this guy's as good as you think, it shouldn't matter who's the quarterback back
Who
there.
quarterback
We
is. Right.
we seen Deshaun Hopkins when he was at Houston play with everybody. We saw
Yeah.
it's funny on how everybody wanted to clown Jameis Winston, but it seemed like Mike Evans didn't have. He was able to get yards with this guy.
Right.
So I was like, you know what, whatever. I said, man, and the deal is, I talked to fellow Titans fans. They are worse than the film study guy. And they try to tell me, oh,
We
he's such a great blocker. I said, hold on. You dropped the guy that how to be a blocker? You might well drop offensive
hey
line.
We
You
had the
know,
same thing,
we did
L. L, we had
we
the
got the
same
same.
thing up here. We drafted a guy in the second round over
He's
DK
the number.
Metcalf. And that dude, the coach, it wasn't even look, man, it wasn't even like fans. The coach said this wide receiver who we drafted in the second round is the best blocking receiver in the NFL. But that's not
hey,
what he was. That's not what he was there for.
to the hey
Hey,
to the folks that's watching on YouTube, excuse me, I'm watching the track and field championships, and me and my wife just saw something that's made us go like, ooh, That's all. Know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna make no volume. I'm just gonna have expressions. But yeah, man. My whole deal was I wanted to see him do well, man. But excuse after excuse, and I was like, you know what? I was done with him, and like, you know what I'm saying? Then it didn't help. It also didn't help when AJ came in here, and then he was able to get the yards. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, what is CD doing wrong? You know what I'm saying? So, and my whole deal, I looked at it like he might have had the talent,
Right.
but I don't think he had the drive once he got in the league. Trust me, I know somebody personally who was a first round draft pick in the NFL 10 years ago as a wide receiver. I ain't gonna say his name. I ain't gonna say where he was drafted. You know what I'm saying? But I saw that as the NFL, it was more like he was more happy of being there than nice throw, than putting in that work. And he got 4 years in, that was a wrap. You know what I'm saying? It's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, we all know, like folks up here, we know how that whole situation went. So the deal is with Tennessee. I hope with Burks, I've been hearing like at first. Now I ain't seen recently, but I heard at first he wasn't able to practice at OTAs and stuff like, man, like what did we just pick? Like, did we just really pick this guy? So honestly, but I'm gonna be honest, as a Tennessee Titans fan, I have more issues with Tannehill than anything, and everybody knows that. Everybody knows that.
Why is he still there? That's a question I want to ask you. Why is he still there?
Man, I don't know why he's still there. I just heard a rumor, and I don't think it's true because he ain't really got a big broom. But this is a small. I'm in this group called ASC Trash Talk. They're saying that we're looking at Jimmy G. I'm just scratching my head more and more and more. Like, that don't make sense because we just drafted a young kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
they drafted Malik Willis, right?
Malik Willis. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, that don't make sense, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Right now, you know what I'm saying? You know, me, I'm just not. I don't know why they kept Tannehill. I'm gonna tell you, Tannehill is a prime example of. Remember Blake Bortles about 4 years ago?
Oh my
Now
God!
remember
Yeah, with
Yes,
the run
yes.
the
he had with the
2000
Jaguars to the AFC
right,
Championship.
the 2017 season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Blake Bortles was not. Blake Bortles was not supposed to be the quarterback after that. But what happened? They end up going to the AFC Championship game, and the worst thing that Jaguars did was re-sign him. Everybody down here, because I stay in Jacksonville, everybody down here knew that Blake Bortles wasn't that guy. But you know what I'm saying? They had a good defense. Great, though. That was a great defense. Let me tell you that. They had a great defense. They had a
That
great
defense.
defense,
That
right?
defense was stacked.
I remember me and the informant used to talk about that defense. the informant. Anyway,
Yeah.
stay with me.
Hey.
Anyway,
Hey.
Oh my God!
Hey.
me no.
Hey. Hey. Hey.
We talked. They got a pretty good defense. I didn't know he was an informant. At the time.
Neither did we.
No, none
Neither
of
did
us.
we.
That's a topic for all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm gonna say. But they had
So
that
you
was a great defense, right? The problem
so you mean
was they had a great running game with Fournette. The problem was Blake Bortles.
Blake
And
Bortles was the problem?
it happened
Yeah.
with Tennessee. Remember Tennessee when the AFC Championship game? They beat New England first, then they beat Baltimore, which wasn't a surprise. That was the year that
Baltimore.
I'm finna say Lamar Odom. My bad. Lamar Jackson won MVP, and I'm not surprised that Tennessee beat Baltimore in Baltimore because if anybody know the history between the Tennessee Titans and the Baltimore Ravens, and my wife should
Well,
know this, she's a Baltimore Ravens fan. We talk trash all the time.
that was that Eddie George Ray Lewis rivalry was it,
That's what I'm
and
saying.
that was
For
it,
some
right?
reason, when they play in the playoffs, the home team always catch an L. So I
Yeah.
wasn't surprised. And then the next year, Baltimore in the wild card round comes to Tennessee and thumps all on Tennessee. And I remember
Yeah.
that draft pick who I can't stand was just sitting on the sideline. But my whole deal was this. I'm not
No,
surprised by
but
that.
you know what? You didn't study film because film shows you where Corey Davis was the best pick. He should have been the pick. because if you look at Corey Davis, the way he lines up at a 45-degree angle and runs his route to perfection
Hey,
shows that Corey Davis should have been the right pick and is the right pick for the DC Titans.
hey, man.
You obviously don't watch football.
Hey, man. I'm gonna just tell you like this, bro. Anybody like that, I respect they. It's nothing. My whole deal is this: I respect when you do things like that, but you're not always gonna be right. And when you're
You're
wrong,
not right on it.
just make each other
Admit you're
wrong.
wrong. Just admit
This
you're
just
wrong.
admit you wrong, and that's where their pride was so strong. They could not admit that they whole team was like that. And I hope they can tune in and hear me now. You know what I'm saying? So whether no matter what sport it was in, you're not always going to be right. It's hey, when I'm wrong, you know what I'm saying? I noticed how that shift went when I made that
Hey,
Pat Mahomes predictions a long time ago.
Right.
And everybody, the Pat Mahomes prediction, they was getting their feelings. I was just joking. But I started pulling receipts on everybody. Like, hey, you said this, boom, here you go. And like I said, like my cousin used to say, who made those guys the subject matter experts? You're not.
Yeah.
You're just
but
making
even when I'm wrong, I'm right 100%
Right.
of the time.
And then
That's
circumstances change, man.
hey,
Circumstances change. Like there's some players in the league, regardless of what league it is, that you can see everything. They may look good in college, but when it hits the big leagues, they don't have enough.
okay.
Whatever it is.
hey
Hey
man,
yo,
we see
you
that now. We see that now in somebody in the sport of athletics, track and field.
Yeah.
Which I tell people, hey, if you talk to me, I'm not the subject matter expert, but I can give you a little more insight. And the crazy part about it is, hey, Swerve, and you know what I'm saying, both of y'all, what y'all don't know, I ain't talk to y'all much. And my wife can sit up there, she can co-sign me on this. I just talked to her 2 months ago. I had a conversation with
I
her, a
know.
short conversation with her. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
I
So
pay attention. I pay attention to what you post. Like, and I know, like, I definitely know for a fact that you out here in the mix. Like, I definitely know
Yes.
you out here in the mix. Especially
man,
when it comes to that.
man,
Hey,
listen,
yo, I got a question for you.
go ahead.
I got a question for you. Ryan Clark said you're a Titans fan. So who the best running back in the league?
The best running back in the league. Oh, is
Yeah.
he trying to make this a Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor type of situation?
I
Maybe
mean, I'm not saying I'm just saying
I mean,
I might be
I'm
wrong.
a, I'm a roll with a healthy. If Henry is healthy, I'm a roll with the truck. But I ain't gonna lie, Jonathan Taylor doing this thing. As much as I hate Indianapolis, I don't hate Indianapolis that bad. They just in the same division.
Yeah.
But I get it. I'm gonna give Jonathan Taylor his props. But you know what I'm saying? The best in the league. Hmm. Damn. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can't just give it to Henry just because he had those he was back to back Russian champion. He just needs to stay healthy. Um, I can say Taylor. There's a few more out there. I mean, I like Nick Chubb, even though Nick Chubb
I
don't
was
get
about to
all the
say,
time.
I
I,
was about to
I
say
like
who
Nick Chubb.
third. If you go, I like Nick Chubb too. I was about to say if you say Henry and Taylor 1 and 2, who's three? Nick Chubb. All right,
Yeah, Nick
so
Chubb.
if 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 Derrick Henry met Ryan Clark in the hole, who wins that battle?
Where Ryan Clark trying to tackle him at? If he
In
go for his
between the
ankles,
tackle,
if he
yeah,
go
yeah,
for his
yeah.
ankles,
Like in between, if they coming through the B gap, if they coming through the B gap, and everybody's blocked up with this Derrick Henry and Ryan Clark in the hole. Because I watched Busting with the Boys, and Ryan Clark was so adamant that if he got Derrick Henry in a short space, that he was going to stop Derrick Henry in his trap.
you talking about Ryan Clark that works for ESPN now?
Ryan Clark that works for ESPN.
If
He said
Ryan
if him and
Clark
Derrick,
if Ryan Clark attempts to tackle anything above his knees, he's gonna get ran over. If he goes for his ankles, I think he can get him because we all know, you know, Derrick Henry. All you gotta do is if you can swipe his ankles and get a good hold on it, you can knock him down. That was the difference between him and Eddie George. Eddie George, you ain't tackling him that way at all. But with Derrick Henry, you can if you get them ankles, if you can get a nice firm grip on that ankle, it's a chance that you can get him. But up top, man, he gonna give you one of them stiff arms. Or what Deion Sanders say? A business decision.
Right.
You gonna
Yeah,
make a business decision.
you're gonna make a business decision. Like I was
Yeah,
just watching,
Go ahead.
it's
Go ahead.
been a clip
that's my personal
circulating
opinion.
around where Jerome Bettis and Brian Dawkins met head up, and Brian Dawkins stoned. Like when I tell you he stoned Jerome Bettis, he stoned Jerome Bettis. And I was just watching because I watched Busting with the Boys. Shout out to Taylor. Shout out to those guys out there doing anything like they Busting with the Boys is a pretty good podcast unless when they have douchebag like Brian Urlacher on. I didn't watch that one. Like I'll never watch anything where Brian Urlacher is on because I just can't stand Brian Urlacher as a person. Like he was a pretty decent middle linebacker, but as a person, I'm not a fan of Brian Urlacher. So I didn't watch that one. But I
Yeah, I
watched
don't
the
know
one
what's
with
going on with Erlacher.
yeah, I watched the one with Ryan Clark. He's a POS. Brian Urlacher is a POS. Like he's just a horrible person. He's a horrible, horrible person in real life. I'm not a fan. But Lance Briggs was better. Um, but I watched the one where Ryan Clark said he
Yeah,
was
just
stuffed. He was stuffed. Derrick Henry if they met the hole, and I was just like,
No way possible.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Number
I like
six,
you, RC,
the one at
but I
number
don't see
six.
it happening.
That's who they think can get
Yeah.
Moo.
So what
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out how to ask this question. This is a question I have for the both of y'all. Why is it that we as fans can evaluate players, right, via whether it's during real time football games or if we go back and DVR, YouTube it, what's the game pass it? What? Why do you feel that people get over protective of what they evaluate when they're not the end all be all of all evaluations?
You want
pride.
me to answer first? You go ahead. You go ahead first, Ayo.
It's pride, man. All it is pride. It is what it is. I mean, no matter what sport, it's pride. People can let it go, but it's still gonna be a lot of pride. I mean, you see it a lot. We definitely see it on the my bad on the NBA side with this LeBron and Jordan thing. It's just all about pride. That's all I gotta say. It's pride and ego. But the deal is, like we all say, the numbers don't lie. And if you look at it effectively, and if you're wrong, you're wrong. There's nothing wrong with being wrong. The
Right.
quicker you can admit you was wrong and like, yo, I went out on a limb, I made this prediction, but it didn't happen, the quicker you can let it go. But
Mm-hmm.
the more you think that your pride holds up and it still might be some hope, the stronger that ego is gonna be on not letting it go. So it's all pride and ego. That's all it
Yeah.
is. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're not paid. If we're amateurs in this, what happened? Oh shit! Somebody failed. I'm, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just yeah. Go ahead, Mar.
When she did like that, that girl.
Yeah.
Everybody has an opinion. So we're everybody has an opinion, but a lot of people think their opinion holds so much more weight than it actually does, right? So
She gonna finish the
because
race. She probably gonna
because you think we don't have
she gonna protest. Probably gonna
you
protest.
think we don't have Game Pass, which we all have access to Game Pass, and like because you think you do this and you do that a little better than someone else. It's a sense of arrogance that connects with these people. You know, I'm from, uh, I'm more humble. I mean, I have access to a lot more than a lot of people do, based on my connections that I've built over this time, and I just don't talk about it. But for those who have to let people know, this is how I know you're weak and your argument is trash. You have to let people know are when you make it when we're having a simple debate or we're discussing something and you want to let me know that you have access to whatever and you study this film and you do this and that, I I lose all respect for you as a man. Like as a woman too. I don't lose. I just don't lose respect for men. I lose respect for women who let me know those type things. So I'm an equal opportunity. Lose respect. So it doesn't matter, but it's a certain amount of arrogance and it's a certain amount of what's the word I'm looking for? Stupidness. I'm gonna just go with stupidity because it's like this. It's like I'm listening to guys who never been on. You ever play football? That's what I asked you. You not saying that you have to play a sport to be knowledgeable. Because I know a lot about basketball, but I never really played basketball at a high level.
Right.
Um, but I played football at a pretty decent clip,
Yeah.
and I surround myself with guys who play football at a really decent clip. Like shout out to my guy, and I'm have like I don't want to show my contacts, my Rolodex, but I'm in contact with guys who train and play football at a pretty decent clip. I mean, and when I say something, you debate and ask me, but you haven't been a starter on a football team since maybe when you played in third grade. Like, and I don't know, do they have football teams in Jamaica,
And what?
Bermuda,
No.
football teams in Jamaica, Bermuda,
You have a better.
the Virgin,
I'm gonna tell you something
the
real
Virgin
funny.
Islands?
Hey, you finna laugh at this, swear, and my wife can co-sign on this. You have a better chance playing football in Japan than you do in the Caribbean because for
Oh,
some
I
reason,
know.
when we were
Oh, I
stationed
know.
over there, they was having like, so they was playing actually like American football, and I'm like,
Football. They
they didn't
do.
have no
In
league
Japan,
or nothing.
they
I'm like,
do.
yeah, and I'm
Hawaii
like, what
too.
in the
Yeah.
world?
Yeah.
Hey, yo, hey,
What's up?
I know. That's why I asked. I said
Where they go?
I never heard of a football team coming from the Caribbean islands, but you know what? I'm not gonna be petty after I'm not gonna be petty after 8:30. But my point is that it's a lot of people that are really arrogant. They reach with arrogance.
You know what? I just caught on to that last statement too. I'm gonna leave it alone.
So I'm gonna give y'all.
They
I'm gonna
they
give
reach.
y'all my answer. I'm gonna give you my answer on it because I wanted y'all to go first. What I believe is, you know, especially us three. You know, shout out to Joe Castro, Brandon, E,
What?
um,
Hey,
Walk,
Walt.
yeah, Walk, Boo Neal. Artie. We're gonna have Artie on tomorrow.
Oh,
Already on the
hey, hey,
mark.
hey,
He's
hey,
my
hey, can you give
guy.
me one thing more? Hey, one thing, stop. I want to say something. I'm gonna swear, remember this. Swear, remember when I talked about ego and everything? You remember what was a few years ago, me and you had that little thing where you was
Yeah,
getting
we
on me
had a
so much.
whole. Yeah, we had that whole
We had that
thing.
little thing, but we let that go. We let that go. We're like, all right, we still good. They can't do that. That's all I got to say.
No, bro. And I respect you as a man because we was both on some goofy. We was both. I can't say that. We was both being goofy. And we was both being goofy. But look, you said you was coming to Philly, and what did I tell you? If you need something, here's my number. Call my phone. Right?
Right.
You want a cheesesteak spot? Boom. Because at the end of the day, we allowed to disagree, and we can squash that stupidity. It was just a bunch of dumb stuff. Like certain people can't be grown ups.
Man, I don't know. I think, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and let Black finish it, but I just wanted to bring that back up on how we had that little thing and we squashed it. It was
Right.
like what,
Yeah.
a day or so. It was over with.
Let me
Boom.
Oh,
Don't want no foul.
let me tell you. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna start it off like this. Right. I believe, we're all, like I said, shout out to the crew, what I mean, and Joe, you give Joe his flowers from where he started, where he's at
yeah.
now. You know what I'm saying? And Brandon and everybody else. But my thing is with people in general, not we you can't fool somebody that knows what they're looking at, right? But you also can't try to down talk somebody that you know ain't going to respond to you the way you want them to. Because that's I think what you guys were explaining. That's what I think they wanted that to happen, right?
Yeah.
And it didn't. You know what I mean? And then to go on, I saw the weirdest comment ever by a certain individual, right? And I'm not gonna give him any airway on his name or whatever the case may be, but this person said I covered it was on a random post. I think it was about a young lady that became she blew up out of I think you may know AO this certain lady, this certain young lady, she got signed to Gotti, right?
I
And
know,
and
I know what
people
you're talking about, but I ain't really been on that, so
right,
I probably don't know
right.
anything about this info.
Yeah, and people was hating on it. People was hating on it, right? So
Okay.
my man comes back behind that and says, "People, you see people do that every day." Then he follows that up with saying, I know how she feels because I cover as a guy that he says it in his quote as a guy that covers the NBA." I'm like, for who?
Is
Come
this somebody? Is this somebody? No, man. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I. No, man.
like
Yeah.
like
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
we
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
right now, like Joe can say he covers the NFL because Joe has. You see what I'm saying? You see how there's levels to it.
Yeah.
Joe interviews people.
Right, come on,
He
Lord.
interviews guys that actually work
Don't you push my
at
baby.
uh,
Don't
at the
you push
radio stations the TV stations,
my Lord. Going
football
with me, baby.
players, coaches, football personalities.
Got it.
That's
You
covering someone. When you haven't had one interview with any of those guys or any of those people, whether it be a man or woman, in any aspect that's done it, that's not covering something. That's just you being a fan. And we are all, at the end of the day, what are we all?
Fans.
Man.
Fan. Thank you. Thank you. So when you are talking to another fan of whether it's rap, basketball, football, baseball, you should talk to that person. You granted, yeah, you know, things may get heated here and there because of how much you love or care for whatever the sport is, the team or the person. At the end of the day, there is a, a respect that should be given just off the strength of it. And a lot of these folks, especially the folks that we are talking about, they don't understand that. You know what I mean? They
No.
don't. So we're gonna
You
get
know
back.
what?
We got another 10 minutes
Yeah.
to. We got another 10 minutes.
I'm
So, well, what else is on the
I'm
docket?
off them dudes. I'm off them dudes. I'm gonna pick an AO brain. I got the Titans schedule in front of me, so we very run the schedule real fast to see. We gonna focus on positive people, good
On the
things.
Titan schedule.
Uh, I just pulled up the Titans schedule. We we got history. We go back. We can harp on a lot of people doing a lot of bad, but I don't want to give these people any more airtime. Like I don't want to talk about it. You know why? Because
It ain't going nowhere.
I
We ain't
don't
got
feel
to
like
worry.
wasting. I don't feel like wasting my breath. Like you said, I'm not talking about the informant. I'm not talking about a smart guy. I'm not talking about the guy who covers the NBA. And I'm not talking about the guy who lives where they don't even play football. Um,
But
so what we gonna do is
wait. One last one last comment. Then I'm done. The guy who had the NBA draft and the NFL draft in this city, but covers sports and didn't get into either of them. But we'll keep going.
so black. You keep track of the win losses. I'm gonna pick AO Brain. We gonna talk Titans for the next 10 minutes, right?
Okay.
All right.
What's going on? What's going on, Eagles podcast?
All right.
So
So,
the Titans open up against the Giants
Dub,
on 9/11. Dub.
Dub, Dub.
Okay. They opened up with the Giants on 9/11. That's a dub. Then they have the Bills
What a
next.
game in? Is the game in New York or is it on Nashville? New Jersey or
It's in Nashville.
Nashville? Okay,
It's
it's in Nashville.
Nashville.
That's a dub. Okay, a dub.
Bills.
Oh, oh, okay. Bills. If they can keep the ball, as long as Josh Allen is eventually gonna have to get the ball in his hand, but keep it out of his hand as much as possible. They can win. If not, I'm gonna tell you something that's funny about the Titans. The Titans are the type of team that win games that you think they shouldn't be winning and lose. They'll lose to
Losing games.
Jaguars or something. So
Yeah.
I don't know. The Bills that could be up in the air. That could be win or loss.
So what we
Win or
gonna
loss, you
count
gotta
it?
pick. What we gonna count it as?
Okay, I'm gonna go. Where are they playing in Orchard Park, New York, or Nashville?
They playing in Buffalo, Orchard Park.
It's in September, so yeah, they can get a win up there. They can squeeze a win up there. It's in
All right, so
September.
they
It's
started
not decent. Yeah.
Okay, so that's 2-0 starting off the grip.
All right.
2-0. Then we got the Raiders at home.
Damn. I want to give them that dub too, but they bound. They got to lose to somebody. Somebody's gonna be. All right, go ahead.
All right, so 2-1.
Colts on the road.
Dub. They're gonna beat them.
All right,
Okay. 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah.
Commanders on the road.
Yeah, the name just threw me off. You could have just said Washington
Redskins.
football team.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should get that. So they ain't 4-1.
All right. Colts at home. They're gonna split.
They're gonna split the coach. So they're gonna split the coach.
That's
So
for
that's
5-1.
Yeah, they're
okay.
gonna go 5-1 in the division. So that's the only division game they're gonna lose.
All right.
So it's
Then you
5-1.
got the Texans. They 5-1 with the Texans at Texas.
But
That's 6-1.
they're gonna beat them.
Then we got the Chiefs at Kansas City.
Loss.
All right. Six
I
and
won't be
two.
surprised they win. But loss.
All right, so they're
They got
6-2 right now.
They're
yeah.
6-2. Then you got the Broncos. Then you had the Broncos at home.
They should beat Denver. They should. Hold on. Russell, I forgot Russell Wilson, a quarterback. See, my problem I have with Tennessee, as much as I like Jeffrey Simmons, Tennessee have a tendency of giving up a lot of third downs. And Russell Wilson is the prime example of a quarterback who can get third downs on them. I got
Right.
them beating them, but I will say this when we continue on. I got them losing to Kansas City. I won't be surprised they win. I got them beating Denver by it, and I won't be surprised they lose. All right, we go to next.
At Green Bay.
I think the environment, they're going to lose to the environment.
Okay.
So
You
that's 2
had the
losses in a
Bengals.
row.
Yeah, I got them losing.
Yeah.
They got the Bengals next.
Then you had the Bengals at home.
They're going to lose to them.
So that's 3
Okay.
losses in a row.
Between because they play Denver and Kansas City back to back.
They play Kansas City, Denver, Green Bay, Cincinnati, all in a row.
Oh yeah, it can get like that. I don't want it to, but I'm just saying I'm going with my heart on this. It can be the opposite. These are some pick'em games. I ain't gonna lie. I
Yeah.
can't give them all. So what
And then
I
they
gotta
fought.
go right now? 8-3, 7-3.
That's 1, 2. It's
Come on, AJ.
yeah, 7-3.
Okay, they
And
still
then
got
you say
7 more games left. Who's next?
so the Bengals.
I definitely
at
got to
home.
lose to the Bengals.
Definitely got
All right.
to
So then you
All
got
right.
the Bengals. Then they come to Philadelphia.
Ooh, man, look, boy, AJ for the show out on us, dog.
I already knew they was going to piss.
Boy, AJ for the show out on us, bro, and I wouldn't even be mad. Fuck,
So then they leave Philadelphia and they get the Chargers leave Philadelphia and get Jacksonville at home.
they 5-1 in the division, so you already
Okay,
got
so that's
that.
the one.
Yeah,
All right. Then Then they're at in San Diego, Los Angeles for the Chargers.
They can get them. They can get LA Chargers. Yeah, we finished top three, boo.
Then the Texans. So that's a dub. They got the
That's a
Texans
dub.
on Christmas Eve.
That's it. I hate.
Then they get Dallas. Then they get Dallas at home.
They should have to beat Dallas.
All right. And then
I ain't
they
worried
end with
about
the
them.
Jaguars. Then they end with the Jaguars. That's a
I got them
dub.
at, I got them at 13-4.
Yeah, pretty much. No, yeah, 13-4.
All right. Even I'm be honest with you. I'm just going with my heart on this. I got them at 13-4, but it can go as low as
11-5.
11 and not 11-5. Probably can go like it can go like a 10 and
Ten and
7.
seven.
It just depends on 17. It depends on what that guy's gonna do. It also, injuries can also play and all that. We know this is part of the game and everything, but I do have them making the playoffs. I do have them winning the division, right? I don't, like I said, I got them 5-1 in the division. I don't see the Duval Scrubs or Houston getting the win, and I think they're gonna split with Indy. You know what I'm saying? And I keep forgetting the 17 games. That's just how I got it. I
Yeah,
like I said, Tennessee, the type of team, the way that they're built, they can lose to a team they shouldn't be losing to and beat a team that you be like, nah. How did
yeah,
they
We
beat
seen
you?
that we seen that 4 years ago where they beat the Eagles, who was the defending Super Bowl champs, and they beat the Patriots, and then they were struggling against the Jaguars. So it's like,
yeah, yep.
Man,
But
I don't know.
fellas,
I don't understand how some of these teams that struggle with the Jaguars, I just don't. And I think the Jaguars, I mean, they're going to get better.
yeah,
She finished third.
yep,
I'm not really worried about these, boo, because this first round, it's tomorrow when I'm going to be really paying attention to these times. Um, But yeah, I know it might be season comes. Folks probably laughing at me. I mean, that's cool. I respect that because this is kind of one of them years.
yeah,
Yeah, this is one of them years. And like I said, I have to go back and reassess what I say. I got the video footage here. I'm gonna go back and look at it, and like I
yep.
said, go back reassess what I say. And if there's any changes, I just make some changes. Cause like I said, for anybody who just coming in right now, I know with y'all football is bigger on y'all minds now than it is on mine. But I'm just going by
We're
just
gonna
some of
get
the
you back in
things.
again, bro. We're gonna get you
Yeah.
back in. Don't worry about it. But to cap it off, man, I'm glad. It was a privilege to have another one of my brothers on. We all gonna get back up. Myself, you, Marv, Artie. We gonna have Joe on, maybe Brandon on. We gonna do a round table probably sometime
yeah,
during the preseason, and then right before the season start. We got time, man. What's going on, Dom? We doing all right,
And
man.
hopefully, man, somebody sound like Michael Irvin. I don't know, damn. Man, somebody sound like Michael Irvin. Damn, man, whatever. All
Hey,
right, whatever, drunk. Hey, check this out. Hopefully, by the end of next time we do a show, hopefully Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford have their mind made up. Hopefully.
we gonna get into
hey,
that.
hey, no, I was gonna touch on that real fast. I know we said 10 minutes, but
Yeah,
I was getting
we
ready to
got
touch
wrapped
on
up.
that.
Yeah,
You got Earl Spence, and Terrence Crawford. Hopefully, they come together and they make it so. Because I want to see that fight. I like Terrence Crawford in that fight. But then um you have Tank and Floyd, and you have Tank and Floyd who said if Garcia really wants to fight, he'd come down to 135 and make that fight happen.
We'll see
And you
about
got Sugar Shane. Yeah, yeah. So that's gonna have to be another show. But I like Spence. I mean, I like Terrence Crawford. If they do fight, I like Terrence Crawford. And then if Tank and Garcia fight at 135, I definitely like Tank at 135. But Garcia, you going Tank not worried about Tank not worried. He said you look like Professor O.
hey man, we gonna wrap it up, man. We gonna wrap it up. But yo, hey everybody, this is the
this
Philly
thing.
Philly
Hey, man, hold on. Let me
podcast,
talk.
man. it's,
I
it's the
saw
Philly
that, bro.
Philly
I'm over here
podcast
typing this up with
show.
my wife.
Please hit that like, and subscribe
This is
button. We once again, I appreciate Joe for allowing us on this platform. We're gonna be here a lot more.
yeah, y'all gonna see a lot
Brother,
more of
it's
us.
good,
We gonna
good to see my brother back on. It's good to see my brother on the camera and Dom being crazy, but we're gonna, hey Dom, we're gonna have time for you to get on shortly.
Dom and Nut. We gonna bring you on too, Dom.
Yeah,
Dom, see
yeah.
Dom. I'm
All right,
glad you're here, Dom.
but it is
Dallas,
the, it is the Philly, the podcast city
I saw
edition.
that. I saw that
My boy
comment.
AO,
I'm gonna ignore
my
that.
boy Swerve, my boy Marv, man, AO, Brandon, Walt, E. Take care, my brother.
Castro.
Yup.
Shout out to everybody. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Shout out to my guy Dom. I know
Okay.
Dom said he hold my head every time.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Dom. Yeah, I thank y'all for tuning in. And we'll see y'all hopefully tomorrow, y'all. We'll be here. Same bad time.
Yup.
No.
Same time.
Same bad channel. Same bad channel. I don't know about the time, but same bad channel. We'll be
Yes, sir.
back. Appreciate the love.
All right, man. We
Go.
out.
All right, no problem. But I'm